let's get into your Wednesday game. So you want to talk about USA and South Sudan. Yeah, shocking that South Sudan was able to pull an upset, and one that their country, even in an exhibition game, is going to celebrate for a long, long time. Can they do it again?
No. First of all, the spread in that friendly was 43 and a half points, which they smashed. Now the books are much more careful. I think the spread now is at 29.5, which is still huge if you ask me, because USA they didn't win any of the last 6 matches. Why their last 6? Because it's 5 friendlies and the first match against Serbia. They didn't win any of those by 30 points or more, and they only covered whatever spread was given in any given match. They only covered the spread in 3 of those, which was 2 of them were against Serbia and 1 of them was against Canada. So that tells me that they go above and beyond to cover the spread and have good performances against teams that have fellow NBAers. Serbia, of course, they have Jokic and a couple of other players, so they really wanted to put the Europeans, in their place. Same goes with Canada, because USA and Canada are like, could easily be USA's B team in the sense that they all play in the NBA. They're all very good players. So I think whenever they find a team that doesn't have a lot of NBAers, they get complacent. They get maybe a little bit cocky. I remember it was maybe Paul Pierce who said, South Sudan, they don't have a player who's over 6'3", and they do have. So that displays just a little bit of cockiness and a little bit of carelessness in terms of who you have against you and how do you treat them. So I'm always in for an underdog coming into a big competition and just doing something. And South Sudan, they did that. They almost beat USA in a friendly.
Yeah.
And it's really, I'm not really sure how USA will react after this one. Are they going to want a revenge game and put them in their place and show the world that, hey, listen, we might have won by just 1 point and barely in the friendlies, but then we beat them by 50 points in the group stage. So don't worry. I'm not so sure. But the 30-point spread is just a bit too high for me. Yes. Just a lean on South Sudan plus 29.5 points, but that's not where I'm going here. I'm gonna go with a player prop. But before my player prop, I just want to say that there's a lot of nice storylines about this South Sudan team. A lot of their players didn't even have shoes in the trainings. There's a former NBA player, Lille Deng, who is putting money out of his own pocket to grow the game in his country. And South Sudan, they did beat Puerto Rico in the opener of the Olympics, 90-79, a really nice performance. And this was actually a revenge game because Puerto Rico, they beat them in the World Cup last year. So South Sudan were really eager to beat this team because they were, I think, back in that match, they were 10 or 12 points up and they really messed it up in the overtime. So it was a revenge game. And another funny, kind of comic and tragic at the same time situation happened in their match against Puerto Rico in the opener, where the organization, they played the wrong national anthem. They played Sudan's national anthem. Yeah, it's a totally different country, and it's not even. Yeah, they're at war with each other. So it was a really big blunder, and it's the organizations, the organizers of the Olympics, they've screwed the pooch on a couple of occasions. They have raw food, no AC units to tackle climate change or whatever. They had
cardboard
paper beds. Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, they're really messing this up. But anyway, I'm going to go with a player prop here. There's a player who is actually a former G League player of the year. His name is Carlick Jones. He's by far the most talented playmaker in that squad. He had 6 assists against Puerto Rico in the opener. He had 11 assists against USA in that friendly that we just talked about on a 15, 11, and 11 triple-double. And last year in that World Cup, he had 15, 14, 6, and 11 assists in 5 matches. So the only 2 matches that he didn't go over 6.5 assists were a blowout win against China and a blowout loss to Serbia. And he still had 6 assists in both matches. So not really sure what to expect of this match. There's a very good chance USA will just put the pedal to the metal and blast them by 35 or 40 points. I don't really know. But I like Carlick Jones to go over 6.5 assists at minus, what is it, minus 140 at DraftKings. This is a bit juiced up, but I think he has the potential to have double-digit assists. So if you like 10 plus assists, he's at plus 380. But I'm going to keep it slow and simple here. Just take Carlick Jones over 6.5 assists, minus 140 at DraftKings. I think that's a very realistic scenario.